Tonight on iWitness News, our main headlines this evening. George Entwistle steps down from his post as the BBC's Director General after just 54 days in the job. Then, women fight back. Is the BBC not employing female experts to talk about breast cancer really an absolute joke? The women of Britain seem to think so. Lord Patten seemed to believe George Entwistle didn't get a big enough payoff. Frederick Mandoodle reports.
Is a £450,000 payoff really not enough for George Entwistle's actions? Well, he clearly seems to think so, with Lord Patten revealing the now former BBC Director General George Entwistle apparently demanded a bigger payoff. The chairman of the BBC Trust, Lord Patten, recently defended the BBC's £450,000 payoff to former Director General George Entwistle. He believed it was defensible and that it was better than any other course of action. Patten told MPs the corporation had actually paid Mr Entwistle less than he originally wanted, and by doing a deal with him had avoided potentially paying out more in constructive dismissal and possibly unfair dismissal claims.
But the options I had were absolutely clear. We either had to deal with it quickly there and then, broadly speaking, on the terms of 12 months, though that was less than we were asked for, or we had to go to constructive dismissal, and constructive dismissal would have landed us with exactly the same amount of money, plus almost certainly another 80,000 for unfair dismissal.
Entwistle had to quit as Director General just 54 days into the job after Newsnight wrongly implicated ex-Tory Treasurer Lord McAlpine in child abuse. Entwistle was already under fire over the BBC's handling on the Jimmy Savile scandal, which was called slow and unconvincing. There was disbelief among MPs when it emerged last week that Mr Entwistle insisted on a full 12-month salary before quitting, even though he was contractually entitled to just half that amount. He received £35,000 for legal expenses and over £10,000 for public relations, as well as 12 months personal medical cover. It isn't the first time the BBC has been in the news recently for all the wrong reasons. The question still remains, is the biggest global broadcasting corporation really losing its way? Frederick Mandoodle, iWitness News.
The BBC have recently been criticised for failing to get female experts on air to debate breast cancer treatment on Radio 4. Well, local female rights activist Jackie Jones has reacted angrily to the whole subject, calling the failure embarrassing, and has set up a whole new website dedicated to media-friendly female experts. iWitness News lead correspondent Frederick Mandoodle reports.
Embarrassing, shameful, idiotic, and downright disgusting. These are the strong words of female rights activist and journalist Jackie Jones. She claimed this was another in a series of embarrassing failures by the BBC and claimed it just clearly wasn't good enough. Do you think your website will help towards the future of women being involved in big media stories?
Well, what my college and I have been aiming to achieve is just that. We believe that this website will change the way people think.
How much of an impact do you think your website will make towards the general public?
I feel that our website will have a high impact on the public, because we've even had a few critics saying things like, why do it unpaid and why do the BBC's job for them? So we think the public will take up on that and change the way the media works.
We asked the friendly people of Lincoln for their view on the website.
I think one of the things in recent years that's been really appalling about the BBC is its treatment of older women, older, intelligent, experienced female journalists who are got rid of, suspended because they're not young and attractive enough anymore. And I think a journalist website that was sort of driven by a female point of view could be a very interesting development.
Well, in my opinion, I reckon women are just overreacting and they should just be in the kitchen.
One thing is very clear. If the website does succeed, we may be seeing a female-dominant media world very soon. Frederick Mandoodle, iWitness News.
Here's Jane Jackson with the latest sports and weather update.
Good evening and welcome to iWeather Forecast. Tonight and progressing through the weekend, snow will move gradually in from the northeast of Scotland through to the southwest of England, patches of rain are also expected in the East Midlands. So, if you're planning on going out this weekend, make sure you wrap up warm with plenty of layers. If you're lucky enough to be in the southeast of England this weekend, it'll stay fairly dry but cloudy. That's all for our weekend weather update. For the full 5-day weather forecast, visit our website www.iweatherforecast.co.uk. Have a great weekend and stay safe. Jane Jackson, iWitness News. In tonight's sports news, Red Bull's Sebastian Vettel won his third consecutive World Drivers' title in the Formula One after finishing 6th place at the Brazilian Grand Prix at Interlagos. Across the championship, Vettel gained several podium finishes, leaving him with 281 points at the end of the season, just 3 points ahead of Alonso, who gained 2nd place in the championship. The final race of the season didn't go too well for Vettel. He crashed on his first lap but managed to keep going and finish the race. He said everything that could go wrong went wrong. We asked people around Lincoln what they thought of the result and how they think 2013 will pan out. How do you feel about Vettel winning the F1 Championship for the 3rd year in a row?
Yeah, he's a good driver and all. All in all, he's really good. He's got a good team behind him. That's all I have to say about it, really.
Well, I think he's the best driver out there at the moment. He's got the best car, and Mark Webber has also got the same car, but he's obviously not as good as driver as Vettel, so I think it's well deserved. So yeah, he's a good driver.
Do you think he'll go on to win again next year?
Yeah, I do. He's done it 3 years in a row, so what's stopping him from the 4th?
Quite possibly, I think, with Adrian Newey as the designer of that car. They're making tweaks all the time, and they'll be up there again as long as they can keep Vettel. There is rumours that he might be going to Ferrari, but I can't see it. I think all the time Red Bull can produce a winning car, they'll keep him.
Who else would you like to see win the Formula One?
I'd like to see either Lewis Hamilton or Jenson Button to win it because they're English and I'll back them behind them.
Jenson Button, yeah, for McLaren, because obviously a British team based in Woking. So it's certainly Jenson Button. He's a decent guy as well. So yeah, I'd like to see Jenson Button.
There we have it, some mixed feelings where Formula One's concerned. Who knows what the 2013 season will bring, we will just have to wait and see. We'll be back next week with more latest sports news, but if you need your sports fix, you can get it by visiting iWitnessNews.co.uk/sports. Jane Jackson, iWitness News.